look at that. You see, those are all my seeds. I kept them in this bag, and it is getting almost time to plant our seeds for our spring gardens. So I get to go through all of these. I get to see what I have, what I need. Gonna make sense of all this mess. Actually, it's all written down. Everything's recorded. It's just a matter of organizing it now that I dumped it out of the bag. And as you can see, I've brought things indoors. And these are empty pots. And then I've got the empty pots in there. And then these are ready for planting new seeds. So I get to start my spring garden indoors next to a south-facing window so that the plants, the little seeds can sprout. And in order to do that, I get to sort out this mess. And of course, some of these seeds are going to be planted outside so that they can be ready for when the weather starts to warm up. But in the meantime, I'm going to get a head start on some things indoors. Oh, and guess what? Do you see this? This is cabbage. Look at this lettuce that came up. It waited the whole summer. It didn't come up until just now. I've got these lettuces that came up all on their own outside. And then these are bean plants that are left over from the summer. Look at that. More seeds. But yeah, and these are cabbages. Now, what's interesting is in my region, the cabbages don't like to make heads until they're much, much older. So this is on its way to making a head, but I don't allow it to make a head. I just take the outer leaves as I need them. So yeah, oh, and over here, you see these little bitty seeds coming up? Yep, those are lettuce seeds that did not come up when I planted last, which was like, I don't know, 2.5 months ago. Apparently it was too cold. They didn't come up. And now, look, see, they're coming up. And then we've got a little bit there, so I have to be careful about the seeds. It has since gotten dark. But everything's all organized. Yep, I knew it would be. See over here, I've got the squashes and over there I've got the lavenders and I've got the grains and I've got the spices and the lettuce. I've got the flowers. I have the carrots and the peas and the beans and the tomatoes and the peppers and wow. So if you notice, I have some packets, right? So for example, these are yellow bush bean packets. But over here, I also have a bunch of seeds from last year. This is a whole bag of broccoli seed. You notice I reused the bags. So this is broccoli that I collected from broccoli that grew in my yard. The same thing here. You see, this is a packet of onion. And then I've got these onions. You see that? Those are seeds from my garden last year. And I have the same thing over here. You see I've got a variety of different types of cucumbers. And then of course I've got the cucumbers that from the seeds that grew from the cucumbers that grew in my yard last year. And then over here the same thing. You see I've got the melon, but then in here I've got all kinds of melon seeds that grew from last year. These are all kinds of flower seeds that I have collected throughout the season. And now is the season for me to plant them. And then over here, look at that. That is a huge bag of lettuce. Let's see if I can open it more. It's full. It's filled with lettuce. Lettuce seeds from my garden. Absolutely full. And look at this. This is basil seed. Yes, anybody need basil seed? And over here, I've got various grains, millets, and the wild grains that grow in my garden that I'm going to be replanting those seeds again. But yeah, I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready. It's very exciting. We're coming into a new growing season. I'm so happy. And over here, wait a second, we've got all these. This is filled with tomato seeds. This is hot pepper seeds. And these are bell pepper seeds. Here we are the next morning. Yep, got it all cleared up, everything organized. And in the evening, I planted here. I've got tomatoes in all of these pots, tomatoes, and then I've got some lettuce over here in these pots. So what I did is I put these little pots in between each of the bean plants. And I have tomato seeds in there. And then I've got lettuce in these 6 pots. And then up here I planted carrots, and I left this alone because the lettuce will fill in. And then only in the little pockets that have sun did I plant things like hot peppers and regular peppers. And I'm actually trying to plant some of my tangerine seeds and see if they'll sprout. And of course you see these tomatoes. These are the final leftovers of the tomatoes from outside. And it's starting to get too cold out there. They won't ripen, so I just brought them in, and I'll keep them in the sun indoors. Now, scattered around my garden, this is my winter garden, very, very green. Very green. So scattered around here, I planted broccoli and fennel and peas. And down over here, I've got some potatoes in there. And what you see over here is interesting. I've got these little bitty corns that are just about ripe. And also over here, yep, you see I threw out some eggshells and grapefruit peels from this morning because I've got tons of grapefruit, tons of oranges, as you can see there. And I made sure to plant some wheat seeds over here, and then over there in that clearing I planted just a little bit of oatmeal. And that's what I've done in my garden. And soon I'm going to plant some wildflowers. I'm just going to wait like another month or so. And then I'm going to go to the bustan, and I'm going to plant some of my seeds at the bustan. Until next time.